In the Melbourne Cup on Tuesday, Oliver and Doremus cut through the field like a knife through butter.
Doremus has made up a huge amount of ground and running into it very strongly.
With the backing of the powerful Lee Friedman stable, Oliver has grown from a shy Perth apprentice to a young man surely headed for success on the international scene. Last season, he won 7 Group 1 races, and already this season he has 4. The Cups double on Doremus and the Caulfield and McKinnon Stakes on Danewin. He's so comfortably perched at the top of Victorian and now Australian racing that it's hard to remember he's still only 23. Sometimes it seems he can't believe it either.
Mate, this is unbelievable. I just won the Melbourne Cup.
Well, throwing the... there's our sponsor coming in for a landing. The magnificent national carrier, Qantas, on one of their many great flights. We fly with them, of course, all the time. And as I was about to say, Damien throwing the arm in the air and throwing his arm around Letzi, then you're reminded that he is 23 years of age and a fine young man. Rode that horse, Doremus, a couple of days ago to the Melbourne Cup win. We'll take a break. Back soon. It's colourful, it's friendly, and it's absolutely packed to the rafters, the lawns, and everywhere else, the car parks, with people. And we're very pleased for the VRC because they deserve it. They put in a tremendous amount of work. This is Oaks Day. People absolutely everywhere. Now, I'm going to look after my little mate, Jenny Chapman here now. This race is called the Schiaparelli Linlithgow Stakes, and that will stop mean, cruel Peter Donegan from picking on her and getting her to pronounce it.
Oh, look, Tim, I'd never do that. I'd never do that with Jen.
Yeah, right.
And listen, I've got a special guest down here with me. One of our greatest ever jockeys in Ron Hutchinson. Ron, nice to see you.
Nice to see you too, mate. Yeah, real good.
Terrific day. You've got some good memories of this day going back to 1956.
That's right, yes. I rode a New Zealand filly called Innisfell for a New Zealand trainer, Mick Murford. Yeah, very exciting. Yeah, it was lovely.
Well, the major races over the carnival, we've seen 3 fantastic wins, and you're keeping a close eye on them. Tell us what you're doing.
Yes, well, actually, I'm watching the races and the tapes and picking the best ride, in my opinion. It's a point system that the jockeys are sort of... the best ride gets sort of 10 points out of 10 and so forth. And so the races are the Derby, Melbourne Cup, the Oaks today, and of course the Nissan Handicap on, or Nissan Stakes on Saturday.
I'll tell you something now, I wouldn't like to be in your shoes because we've seen 3 magnificent rides.
Oh, you're so right. You know, it is a difficult situation to sort of be in, but you know, with Damien's ride in the Cup, Shane Doe's riding the Derby in the Melbourne Cup. You know, they've been some terrific rides. Mick Deppert even rode a marvellous race in the Melbourne Cup. Fantastic rides. And if you have the sort of the patience to sit down and watch it, it is quite a difficult task. But you know, they're all top world-class riders. It's, you know, it's excellent, really.
Finally, Ron, you've seen racing all over the world. There is something magical about this week, isn't there?
Well, yes, Melbourne Cups reminds me very much of the Royal Ascot meeting in England, and it has, you know, all the razzmatazz and the excitement of it all, and some good horses racing too. It's really good.
Always great to see you. Thanks for joining us.
Thank
Ron
you, Peter.
Hutchinson talking with us about the award for the best ride over the 4 major races, and he's going to have a very, very hard task in picking it, especially after Saturday. Thanks, Ron.
Thank you, Peter.
Okay, Jenny Chapman's coming in now, and we're going to have a look at the horses here in race 7. The Linlithgow Stakes, sponsored by Schiaparelli.
At least Tim looks after me, Peter.
Yes, thank you. Number 7, Teos, 9, Sword, and 12, Grand Bay. The scratching's a field of 10 to run. And let's have a look at this magnificent sprinter, Moss Rocket, Jen.
Well, he is exactly that, Peter. He was just awesome at Caulfield 2 starts ago when he won there over the 1,000 metres in the Churnside Stakes. Then at Moonee Valley, he just went very, very hard early, and he was left to be a sitting duck at the end of that race. He's a terrific sprinter. Now the track has dried up a bit, he's definitely there with a chance.
Number 2 is Brawny Spirit, and the rider here is Michael Clark for Mick Winks. And Brawny Spirit, he is only pint size, but he's got a heart as big as the Flemington Grandstand.
He certainly has. Well, he won on Saturday, of course, and it was a terrific effort there. 53 kilograms he carried on that occasion. He hadn't carried a lightweight for some time. Now he's back up to 57.5. He'll do his absolute best, but that's a lot of weight for him to have to carry again.
On his day, number 3, Sequalo, is very, very smart, trained by Charlie Weymouth and ridden by his son Norman.
Well, this horse won this race last year on a dead track, so if he lives up to that, he's certainly there with a chance. But I've got to say his last few runs have probably been a fraction disappointing for Sequalo. If he's 100% right, he's a very, very fast horse.
Carptingly, number 4, is an Oakley Plate winner. Alf Matthews takes the ride for David Hall, the trainer at Epsom. And gee, he races in the best of company and always acquits himself very well. His last start, he finished 3rd in the Stradbroke behind Ruslan.
Another excellent sprinter in this race. He is unknown on the dead conditions. This is his first run at Weight for Age, so it's going to be interesting how he does hold up here, but his fresh form is very good, and he is just that today.
First start for 5 months for Carptingly. Number 5 is Lord Dryden. Tony Allen takes the ride here.
He's been a fantastic horse over the years. He's actually won 7 races over 1,200 metres. He handles the dead conditions. He's certainly won at odds. An 8-year-old now, but still very smart.
You like number 6, You Remember. Danny Nikolic is the rider. And he finished in the middle of the field behind Sober Suit in the 1,600 metre Toorak handicapper, back to 1,200 metres here.
Just looking at him here too, Peter, in the mounting yard, he does look terrific, this horse. Lance Smith has done a great job with him. He's terrific at Weight for Age. He's won down the straight before, and I think he comes into it with a great chance.
Speaking of horses which go well down the straight, number 8, Racer's Edge, certainly comes into that category. Trained by Gerald Ryan here on the track. Simon Marshall is the rider at 57 kilos. He touched out Ruline here in the Rupert Steel, and then his effort behind Brawny Spirit the other day was very good.
Most consistent horse. I thought he probably had every chance at Flemington on Saturday, but by the same token, he still battled on very strongly. He wasn't beaten all that far. His best runs are probably when he's ridden just off the pace, and if that happens here, he comes into it. Very tough race, this.
Plusker is going to be big odds in the race and entitled to beat Patrick Payne, the rider. And, well, his last run was back on the 7th of October here, 9th behind Sober Suit, and he'd done little before that.
And that's true, but his last 2, there have been excuses for him. He hasn't had a lot of luck in those runs, and he's a horse that does appreciate the sting out of the track. He's got that here, and he's probably a chance at odds.
Speaking of excuses, number 11, another excuse. Vlad Jurek is the rider.
Well, this horse is a good winter type of horse. I'm just not sure whether he's quite up to these. I think he's probably going to find it a bit tougher in this event.
And 13, Quality Gold, the stablemate to our Maze Kate, trained by Grant Searle, based here at Flemington while he's in Australia. And Shane Dye, the rider, he's a very impressive looking horse, this fellow, and his win in the Moir was outstanding.
Absolutely outstanding. Fantastic performance there at Weight for Age. He comes in with 51.5. You can see him, he's getting a little bit toey there on the screen. He is only a 3-year-old in the race, the only 3-year-old in it, but he is a young improver, and I keep a big watch on him.
Jen, there's only 10 runners here, but gee, it's full of quality.
It sure is. It's quite a difficult race. I'm going for number 6, You Remember, from number 5, Lord Trident, and number 8, Racer's Edge.
The big chestnut Moss Rocket for me as they go up to the gates. Here's Dan Malicki with the tote call, race 7.
And not only for you, Pete, I think most punters too. $2.50 and $1.50 for Moss Rocket. He is the favourite. Brawny Spirit, $13. Sequalo, $12.40. Carptingly, $8.40. Lord Trident, $16.40. You Remember, $7.30. $7.10 Racer's Edge. Plushka, $45. Another excuse, $30. And Quality Gold at $9.60. Collectively, a terrific sprint field, and I'm sure there would have been plenty of action downstairs. To find out, let's join Terry Kennedy.
Thanks, Dan. There's action aplenty down here in the top weight. Moss Rocket has been all the rage ever since betting started on race 7. $2.50 on the tote at the moment. That is about the same with bookmakers who are holding a lot of money on Moss Rocket. Brawny Spirit has eased in the betting market, as has Sequalo. Captingly, no money at all for Captingly at the moment. You Remember at around $7 with bookmakers has been extremely solid. And also number 13, Quality Gold, also met with some good support. Speaking of quality, have a look at this. Irene, Flaminia and Sonia now join me. The first 3 girls I met all days without champagne in their hands. Obviously a very serious punter.
Definitely a serious punter.
And how's it been?
It's been a great day.
Oaks Day, obviously a winner in this race.
Yes, Quality Gold. Go with Shane Dye.
Quality Gold, Shane Dye. And just finally, before we go, we need tips.
You Remember by Danny Nikolic, number 6.
Then ago, they all agree You Remember, who's been backed in the ring. Let's hope it can get home.
And I think he actually gets paid for doing this. Terry Kennedy down there in the batting ring. They're going up to the stalls for the Chaparelli Linlithgow Stakes over 1,200 metres. Second last event on Crown Oaks Day. Back to Flemington on Network 10 after this break. are certainly playing havoc with the ladies in their hats, but I think two groups of people deserve congratulations today, and they are the ladies of Melbourne and indeed around Australia who are at Flemington today because they all look magnificent on Oaks Day. And the other group of people who deserve congratulations are the track staff here at Flemington. After the deluge that we had after Derby Day and then a heavy track on Melbourne Cup Day, and here we are, and they're racing on a dead track, and maybe even a little bit better than that. Ron King and his staff, Dan Malecki, have done a simply wonderful job.
Oh, they have indeed. You feel sorry for them after what happened earlier in the week because there'd be nothing they could possibly do, but really is testimony to the accuracy and the ability for the people that work on the Flemington racecourse to come up with what they have today. I was pleasantly surprised. Gary was. We obviously tipped in favour of the track being on the better side of dead, and it obviously is, and it's very, very creditable to all of the VRC.
Oh, it's been great, Dan, and you know, we were talking about those flags and how that wind, you can just see it. It's really blowing up here, and they'll run a bit of time down here. I reckon it wouldn't surprise me to see them run 1.9 something.
Well, you've got the quality there. We were talking about the quality. The eighth favourite in the race is a last start Group 1 winner, so it gives you an idea of how strong this race is.
Oh, yeah, well, that's right. There's Sequala, there's Moss Rocket, the one you like. Great big strong horse. Look at those iron quarters. Not that lady. No, it's and this crowd has been incredible, Dan. We're just remarking how they've all stayed around out the front here. It's just amazing.
One other thing that obviously played into the hands of the track rating today was obviously the wind, because we've got plenty of it, and it was just drying it out all the time. Yeah. So as the day's gone on, the track's actually got better, and you're almost racing towards a good surface here. Terry, I noticed that there's just a little bit of nibble of money for Lord Trident in the ring.
I thought you might notice that Danny, yes, Lord Trident, having his first start from New Zealand, its first start in Australia, that is, has been nibbled at big odds, coming about, well, from triple each way odds into single-figure odds.
Thanks, Terry. That's very significant in a race of this type. It takes plenty of money.
I thought number 4 looked very well, Dan. Captain Lee, he's a pretty good horse. He hadn't finished far away in a lot of the really big sprints. Stradbroke handicap.
On the opening plate earlier this year. Yep. Moss Rocket was placed in the new market behind All Our Mob and Hariba. That's very good form. Quality Gold. There's also been a bit of support for him right on the death knot. Quality Gold, number 13. Shane Dye's had a terrific record in all the big races this week. That might be significant. Oh, but this is
hard to leave him out.
Yes.
Big races.
Indeed it is.
No, this is a very good field for a weight for age here.
Best Lynn Lithgow field I've seen for a little while. Racing. Caught them well too. Moss Rocket jumped away well over on the inside. He'll be guarded up by the inside rail. Racer's Edge got out fairly, settles just behind the speed. Brawny Spirit, Sequala go fast to go up to sit second and third early. Quality Gold into about 4th position in the early part. Carptingly getting well back with Plushka, and Lord Trident a little bit wide out on the track. Down towards the 800 metres point, and Moss Rocket is the leader from Brawny Spirit. Getting through now on the outside. Quality Gold's very handy to them. Sequalo's up racing 4th. A length away 5th was another excuse, and just behind them Racer's Edge is about 4 lengths off the lead. Plushka getting back, and then Carptingly and also Lord Trident as they run down towards the 500 metres point. Brawny Spirit took over from Moss Rocket. You remember trying to get up on the rails. Sequalo next. Moss Rocket has to be ridden along a little bit. Quality Gold is joining in most impressively. Quality Gold going up the Brawny Spirit. Moss Rocket's under pressure. You remember along the rail, Quality Gold. This big 3-year-old draws alongside Brawny Spirit, who won't give in. And you remember on the rail, you remember Brawny Spirit, Quality Gold. You remember finishing with a rush. You remember grabs Quality Gold, and you remember beat Quality Gold and Brawny Spirit. Carptingly 4th, and then came Racer's Edge, followed by Sequalo, another excuse. Moss Rocket disappointing. Plushka and Lord Trident at the rear.
Well, he certainly loves that little bit of sting out of the ground, this horse. He's been a very good horse, and Dan, they ran 1.9.8, so this shows you how good this track is. But you remember, he's been a very good horse. This time only won the Manikato Stakes, and with that bit of jar out of the ground, he's certainly found his true form.
Find the numbers will be 6, 13 and 2. Didn't Brawny Spirit fight on and fight on? It was a very courageous performance.
Yeah, here's a great headshot here. Shane Doe on the outside on Quality Gold. Brawny Spirit, little wee horse in the middle. And you remember poking through on the inside with Danny Nikolic, getting the best out of him. It's a great three-way go here, but just towards the line, You Remember just gets his head out and just takes it off Quality Gold.
And it's won by narrow margin. Quality Gold looked to be travelling comfortably. He raced a lot closer to the lead today, but a well-timed run by Danny Nikolic on You Remember. Margin's probably a long neck at the post, but it was a tremendous finish. Peter, what was the surprise that the real big fancies like the Moss Rockets and Sequalo seem to be beaten so far out?
Yeah, especially Moss Rocket, Dan. He was one of the first beaten, probably about the 350, but Lance Smith is with me now. Lance, congratulations.
Thank you, that was fantastic.
Did you go into the race confident? Because there was a lot of depth there.
We did. As you know, we won the Manikato. We tried him over 1600 in the Toorak and decided to fresh. He's been out and had a little bit of a freshen up, and we've aimed strictly for this race. The others have been running in the Challenger and whatever. We settled on this race a few weeks ago, and he's been set for just this race.
Nice patient ride too.
Yeah, he's a great rider. One of the best jockeys in the country. It's only weight that's restricting his opportunities. I think he's right up there with Oliver.
You've had a few bosses in your time. I think you're Kelly Chapman and Jeff Murphy. It must be nice to win one in your own right in the carnival.
That's right. I had some good teachers. He's been well taught, I think. Did a good apprenticeship.
Lance, well
very
done.
Satisfying. Thanks.
Good on you, mate.
Thank you.
Lance Smith, the winning trainer. With You Remember, here's Johnny Letts with Danny Nikolic.
Yeah, Danny, very excited after winning on You Remember. You won the Manikato Stakes on him, Dan, and got suspended, and then today.
Yeah, he only runs for me, Johnny. He's a good little horse to me, and he's kept my name up in lights.
Danny, you sat off just off the speed. You had Moss Rocket and Brawny Spirit and all them up the front doing the work, and you just swooped at the right time.
Yeah, I had a lovely run in the race. Did no work behind Moss Rocket. Had the one run at him, and he was just too good. It's been a really good training effort, but I reckon it's been a better riding effort too.
Yeah, that's great, Danny. And Danny, you were saying that the horse likes a little bit of the sting out the track, and today he's gone 1.9. He stopped the clock at 1.9, which was excellent going.
Yeah, it suited the horse. He's had chips removed from his knees. I just want to say hello to me little brother Tom. I told him I'd say hello to him. Good luck there, Danny, and best of luck for the rest of the carnival, mate. Thanks, Johnny.
Danny Nikolic coming back to scale aboard You Remember. Yeah, good day to Tommy Nikolic. We'll all send him a cheerio. And well done to Danny with You Remember in race 7. Second placing going to 13, Quality Gold. Ridden by Shane Dye. Third home was number 2, Brawny Spirit. Ridden by Michael Clark. Officially fourth was Carptingly. And officially fifth was number 8, Racer's Edge. Time 1:09.8. Gary Willits was spot on with his assessment of how the race would be run. You Remember returning to scale after the Chaparelli Linlithgow Stakes. And we'll be back with the weight signal and all the relevant information on the second last on Oaks Day after this.
$2.20, You Remember. Beat Quality Gold $2.30 and Brawny Spirit $3.60. Quinella $30.80. The Exacta paid $75.10. The Trifecta $506.10. The Race-to-Race Double $53.10. The Daily Double on 3 and 6 paid $29.50, and the Quadrella $832.30 for the combination of 5, 3, 2 and 6. The numbers are 6, 13 and 2 with correct weight. Flemington race 7. Fourth was number 4 Carptingly. Fifth was number 8 Racer's Edge. The time 1:09.8 and the margins were a long neck by 1 1/4 lengths.
Thank you, Dan. You Remember. And I certainly will. That brown gelding You Remember, because Peter Donegan, our floor manager, and myself are happy little Pete.
And there, Tim. You must have been following Jennifer, were you? She tipped that.
Did she? Yes. No, I missed her tipping it, but my floor manager, bless his heart, tipped it to me, so we're very happy up here.
Really? And you told me the other day you couldn't tip a sick bird off its perch.
He's starting to cry.
Oh, well done. Well done. Well, everyone's got money, it seems. Did you back it?
Yes, I did, Pete.
Good girl.
I had a win on it, and the producer did too, so he's happy.
Yeah. Oh, well, you'll keep your job. Last race, the Qantas Handicap, 4:50 is the starting time. What did you make of this, Jen? We're all clear in the last 15 to run.
It's always a tricky one in the last here. I do like number 10, Rainbow Reef. This horse was a bit unlucky at Caulfield last start, got shuffled back, and it was just too far out of it towards the end of the race. Drawn nicely here in barrier 6, and I do think she might be able to box seat. I gave her a terrific chance each way. Number 7, I've put in for second. She likes a little bit of give in the ground. She's got that. And number 8, Chasing the Light. This is a horse that has been racing quite well, and I think she's probably a chance at odds.
Okay, I thought Poetique in the last race, and that's coming up at 10 to 5. Time now for the presentation after the Chaparelli Linlithgow, and once again, here's Richard Zachariah.
It's true on Darren Gauci after
Welcome back to the presentation ring. Our host for this race is Mr. Andrew Ramsden,
but he has been
from
discharged.
The VRC. The Chaparelli Linlithgow Stakes is sponsored by the Hilton Hosiery Company, and from that
earlier in the
company
day
is its
has
managing
been
director,
discharged from hospital.
Mr.
He
Gerald
does have a broken
Evans.
collarbone, but he's been discharged and is going home.
We'll just wait and see if they're finished.
Thank you, Richard. Hilton Hosiery Corporation is very proud to be a part of the Crown Casino Oaks Day for the first time, and most importantly, to be the 1995 sponsor of the running of the Schiaparelli Linlithgow Stakes. Hilton Hosiery has a strong tradition of being at the forefront of Australian hosiery fashion since 1934. Naturally, major fashion events are a prominent focus for our company, and we are therefore particularly proud to be sponsor and part of the fashion focus of Crown Oaks Day, one of the prestigious fashion and sporting events on Australia's calendar. I am therefore proud to present the Schiaparelli Linlithgow Stakes Cup to winning owner Philip Jacobson, winning trainer Lance Smith, and winning jockey Danny Nikolic. Congratulations.
Yes, congratulations indeed. Well won by You Remember. A really terrific run.
Flemington Love of Mary has opened up $4.90 and $1.50. Poetique at $5.40, around and over, who was most impressive winning at Geelong, $8.50. Jacidity $14, Marine Magic $46, Nawada $13.80, River Tane at $6.80, Chasing the Light $9.40, High Creek at $19, Rainbow Reef at $14, Clary's Turn $28. Abondanza, there's an outsider with a hope at $49. Life is a Cabaret, $25. Spruce Goose, $103. And Zephyr Dream at $46. They're the opening totes for the last, which is 24 minutes away.
Well, look at the crowd here. It's been here all day, and you can see the ladies hanging onto their hats because the wind is getting up, but it's been a terrific day. And we will have a crowd figure, Tim, as soon as we can bring it to you, but it's going to be a big one, whatever it is.
All right, thank you, Pete. We've, of course, got our competition closed a little earlier. We'll announce the winners of the Crown Fashion Competition after we take our next break, and all the best of luck to all of you because they're great prizes for designer and viewer. Back soon. Stages of Oaks Day 1995 at our international racecourse, Flemington, and it seems not a soul has left the racetrack. They're having far too good a time to do that. There's lots of ladies, from little tiny ones, just months old, and of course the highlight, the lady racehorses, the great 3-year-olds that have been running around today, and what a magnificent day it's been. The attendance, well, Peter Donegan isn't a bad judge, is he? He said about 60,000 plus, 62,388, which is up about 24% on last year, and of course is an Oaks record. So that's magnificent, and to the VRC, congratulations, and most of all, to all of the punters and all of the ladies, everyone who's turned up today to make it such a great day on Oaks Day. Well, I know.
Is a lady. For some, the thrill has been backing the winner in the Crown Oaks, but for others, the thrilling moment is just at hand with the final judging of the Crown Fashions on the Field. Today is the day for the Crown Fashions on the Field, with the final judging in 2 categories, classic racewear and hats. How it works is that the winners from the heats on Derby Day and Cup Days join today's heat winners to be in the grand final for the chance to win some fabulous prizes. Over the past few days, the Crown Fashions on the Field has seen a fantastic array of outfits, from the very elegant to the outlandish. And we've also seen some amazing hats, with a return to the chic 50s and 60s.
And the winner is Tina Halise.
And here are the winners of the best hat and the best outfit for the Spring Carnival 1995. Ladies, how do you feel?
Ecstatic. There is no word except ecstatic.
And Shelley, you're here from New Zealand?
Yes, all the way over from New Zealand. I've never won anything in my life, so this is fantastic.
Well, I'm glad you're going back on a good note. Congratulations to both of you. You look fantastic. And until next year.
Thank you, Louise.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Mary-Louise. Thank you, ladies. You look great. Now, I want to mention this stirrup again quickly because we got a lot of telephone calls about it.
When trainer John Marr gave the Sydney Cup ride on Dasher to...
Oh, we have too. Sorry about that, folks. We've lost Brett Preble for the time being. Don't know if we can get him back yet. We'll just get a nod from... No, we'll... The easiest thing to do when you're in this situation is just go away, let the commercials do it for you. We'll take a break and sort ourselves out, and we'll come back here after that.
When trainer John Marr gave the Sydney Cup ride on Dasher to his 17-year-old apprentice Brett Preble last autumn, there were a few of the racing fraternity shaking their heads. But if Marr had been in any doubt that young Brett was ready for such an important assignment, he only had to ask the senior riders, who on 30 occasions last season ate the Preble dust as he shot to his first Victorian Apprentice Premiership in only his first season based in Melbourne.
He's a perfect build for jockey as well, which is very important. I think he's going to be around for quite a long time weight-wise as well, so I think he's got a pretty good future ahead of him.
The good judges now know what Marr knew as he legged Brett onto Dasher at Randwick. This young man is on his way to the top.
Sovereign still in front. Darcher grabs him now. Darcher takes the lead close to home in the windbag colours. Look at Darkstar jumping out of the ground with Balmaressa, but Darcher held on to win the Cup.
Despite his Sydney Cup success, the reality is that Brett has fewer opportunities during the big carnivals. But he is intent on using the spring as part of the learning curve.
Sitting here watching this race here today is pretty frustrating, but I know my time will come.
Yes, we're sure it will, young man. That was our story on Brett. In fact, our tape machine chewed it up before, but because we're smart, we had a second copy of it. So there you go. Time to announce the winners of the Crown Casino Fashion Competition for
the final event. No scratchings, a field of 15 to run, and Simon Marshall. Well, Jen, can he make it 3 out of 3? He's picked up the ride on Love of Mary with the injury to Damien Oliver.
Well, quite possibly, Pete. The only thing is she's got a fair bit of weight here, 57.5. It's a lot of weight for her to have to carry. I thought at Moonee Valley at her last start, she was up on the inside and she led, and it really didn't suit her there, so you can probably forgive her for that run, but I think the weight might just stop her here.
OK, so Simon Marshall aboard number 1, Love of Mary, here in the final event, which is the Qantas Handicap, of course, and the starting time is 4:50, and there is Love of Mary. What do you make of her appearance?
Oh, she looks pretty good. She's nice and relaxed there, and, you know, she's got some ability, that's for sure, but the weight is my concern.
Poetique number 2, Alf Matthews, the rider, David Hall, the trainer, as Simon gets ready to jump on the top one, Love of Mary, and Poetique third at Geelong in the dual choice behind Monsieur was a pretty good run.
It was a good run, and this horse has got a terrific record at Flemington. She's had 5 starts here for 3 wins. She likes to sting out of the ground, and her form over 1400 is also very good. She's fitter. She's got to be left there with an excellent each-way chance.
Number 3 is around and over, and I can see nifty Neville Wilson standing down here getting the last-minute instructions, and he's got a smile on his face, so he's confident. What about you, Jen?
Well, I thought she was too good for an ordinary lot at Geelong. She's a fairly honest type of mare, but this is going to be her toughest test to date. It really is quite a tough field for the mares here in the last.
Number 7, River Tane, Darren Beedman, the rider. Blinkers back on today. And, of course, Paddy Highland's had a successful day training the Oaks winner in Sallies.
He sure has. It's been a great thrill for Pat Highland. Look, this horse got back and was forced quite wide last start at Caulfield. She relishes a sting out of the ground, and I think she'll probably be running on towards the end. Gives Pat a good chance to get it to double.
Chasing the light, number 8, Brett Preble, won in midweek company here 3 runs ago and then placed twice in the country since.
Well, she got back at Seymour and forced to make her run around about the 900-metre mark. She's a very honest mare, and I don't think she's going to finish too far away. I think she's at quite nice odds too, around about 10 to 1.
Number 9 is High Creek, and the rider here is David Taggart. It's about the 18 to 1 mark on the tote. Well back at Geelong. What happened there?
Well, just got a long way back, Pete, and was quite wide there as well. So just didn't have all that much luck there. At Cranbourne, not a lot of luck there either. So back to the 1400 metres is going to suit High Creek. Got a stack of ability, but can be a bit of a moody mare. Some of these mares have their day, and you've just got to find her on her right day.
And number 10 is Rainbow Reef. Glenn Voss will take the ride here. This mare trained on the Gold Coast, and she had excellent form at Eagle Farm, Dubin, and then placing at Randwick, and then came to Melbourne and finished well down the track track in the mares race won by Cyclone Watch at Caulfield.
Well, she got shuffled back at Caulfield and she didn't have a lot of luck there. I think you can forgive her for that run. Prior to that, her runs were excellent. Drawn nicely in barrier 6. She races up handy, just off the pace normally, so she might be able to box seat here, and I think she has a terrific chance.
Well, Jen, you've been right around the money today, all throughout the day, and everyone's coming up and saying, oh,